Hey, y'all, come on in. You're here on a great day.
We have our second soap today from Wits End.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays...
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention today, Marcus would like to talk about a new little surprise.
Y'all, for the occasion of my 50th birthday, I decided to have a series of 3 brushes commissioned, one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end of my 50th year. For the first one, I reached out to Grizzly Bay and just said, y'all, if you could make me a barbershop brush, I would be in heaven. I gave them no other guidelines or instructions. And look at how magical that came out in one of my favorite shapes in all of the shaving brush world. And for the second one, I decided to reach out to Craig at Opus Brush because he made my Tiki Brady Bunch inspired brush and her strawberry shortcake brush. Y'all, they are insane. And I wanted to remember the summer of my 10th year when my mom gave me permission to change my room around to Coca-Cola and all of the traipsing around we did throughout the Bay Area to track down bedspreads and curtains and decorations and everything that matched that perfect Coca-Cola red. And at the end of it, my mom put 3 big empty shelves on my wall and said, within a few years, you're going to have a giant collection because all of our family and friends all have Coke stuff in their rafters and garages. They're probably going to give them to you to take care of them. And thus they did. And to remember my 10-year-old bedroom, which I had deep into high school, Craig made me this incredible Coca-Cola inspired shaving brush in exactly the right Coca-Cola red, and even with an imprint of a bottle cap on the bottom. And again, I gave him absolutely no input, but I love that he got the entire iconic Coca-Cola logo on that brush. What a fabulous way for me to remember some of the best times of my childhood. And isn't that what this hobby is about? And speaking of which, what is our soap today? We
have Huckleberry. This will be our second one from Wits End. Let's meet it.
All right, y'all, from the Etsy page for Wits End Small Batch Goods.
Transporting you to the mountainside where you encounter a patch of huckleberries. The sweet aroma of berries is complemented by herbal and floral earthiness. The fragrance begins with gentle berry notes and a touch of citrus. The middle notes showcase herbal elements of thyme, sage, and moss. Finally, the bottom is enriched with a floral burst of lavender and white birch.
Y'all, I saw Huckleberry and just thought this was going to be a single note gourmand, but nay, we're going on an adventure.
We are.
Here, y'all, and the hills are alive with the sound of music. Come along with us. We're going to open the box. Y'all, this is our surprise box that Wits End sent us for free to review, and constant viewers might remember Mother Lode, that fabulous homage to perhaps something in the 1 million line of things that we figured out later. And this is the note! Marcus and Sarah, welcome to Wits End Small Batch Goods.
Please hold.
It's a pleasure to meet you and introduce my products as I begin this exciting journey. I enjoy your show and truly appreciate everything you do. Thanks for your support from Kenneth at Wits. And thank you, buddy. And y'all, we did get some stickers and candy. Kenneth understands the assignment. We definitely appreciate the size of their sticker budget. Look how they come.
Right?
There's one more surprise in here that has not been released yet, so we're going to save that for a future episode coming soon. But y'all, one of the things everybody is talking about Wits End are these labels, and they're 3-dimensional. Is there anything that luxurious or exciting in the wet shaving world?
He's got his straight and a brush, and look at that hat, man.
And he's got 8 legs. What better barber to take care of you in 3 minutes? I'm just excited there's so much more going on in here than just a Huckleberry note. I would have been happy with that. Well, y'all, come along with us. We're going to do some mountain climbing today and have our first impression. One of my favorite things in the wet shaving world is probably something a bit overlooked. It's these barriers so that we know our schnoz are the first ones getting into this tub. All right, I want you to take this in.
Okay.
First, I'm excited to know the huckleberry, but I'm even more excited to know all of the other notes that are supporting it.
Right?
All right, here we go.
Going in. Here's the pour for those who like to see.
Lovely.
All right, here we go.
This is a tallow formula.
Ooh, this is fun. This is way more year-round than I thought. I don't know why reading Huckleberry, I just kind of put a season to it, but this has the bright sides, that sweeter part of the berry that hits the citrus that's kind of turned up to bring you in. Then it goes into the deeper, not darker, but just deeper kind of spices that adds this little masculine kind of finish, not aftershave-y or something, but somehow those herbs are really kind of adding a more mature touch than I was expecting. And then the earthiness at the bottom, it doesn't quite go oody or dirt-ish, but the basement floor is needed. It almost kind of reminds me of like a cherry wood or like something deeper, mahogany-ish maybe. I don't think they're actually in here, but it's like a natural clean, but still dark at the end of the whiff.
I can be easily seduced by a list of interesting scent notes, y'all. I bought some beard oil yesterday because I liked the notes. Fable, the one that's blueberry and tobacco and mahogany. You kidding me? Stay tuned.
I really like having Huckleberry be the name of it and that this is clearly the spine of the scent because it's been used in other things before, but it kind of would get lost. Like you'd kind of get like the spiciness of the berry or more of the sweet side. This has like all the encompassing portions that you can tell it's Huckleberry, but everything around it is kind of keeping it on the pedestal. So your nose keeps going back to that spine. So sometimes I brought in with more of like the actual berry color to me, kind of like between a blueberry, raspberry kind of color, or I kind of get the back door, which is more the spicy, deeper herbs, like not wine, but it kind of could approach like when you read on a wine list where they talk about like the berry notes. There's something about this that kind of goes into that. And then if you almost add the cask that wine's made in, but if it was made with like huckleberry jam, it's like the woodiness and the spices of the huckleberry that have the finish for me.
I'm going to go buy one right now.
I don't know if I've ever just eaten huckleberry, but if this is what it smells like, I really would love to try it and eat it just to get to know it on its whole other side.
Well, y'all, if any of you ever visit Berkeley, California, Fat Apple's Restaurant and Bakery, which was originally called Fat Albert's until they got hit with a cease and desist, see CAD for references, they make an lullaberry pie that the commune in the mountains sing a folk song about. I'm not entirely sure if it's a berry they invented because I've not exactly heard of it anywhere else, but I know it's related most closely to the huckleberry, and it brings people in from miles around.
It totally makes sense. Like my brain almost pictures like a holly berry, but with a blueberry color. So like if you could combine those, that is this like deep purplish kind of thing going on. So we live here in California. We do not have huckleberries, at least walking down the street. We're not going to get a whiff or see them. So I love having a soap like this that feels like I'm kind of being transported to somewhere else.
And ironically, we've got like 9 Doc Holliday soaps.
Yep.
No huckleberry to be seen.
But I like that Wits End is like our first lens into just getting to know Huckleberry because I'd love to hang out with this dude. I don't know where he's at and what party we're happening, but I want to be there. I'm really getting a lot more depth. Like it's kind of funny that it's an octopus because I feel like we are like way deep down. Like you can't really see much sunlight. Like I know there's citrus in here, but it's only helping the darker, deeper sides of this come through. Like I don't want to say dank because it's not that part, but it's like the depths, the dark kind of underbelly that you want to hang out there and get to know. Like it's almost like the spices that can only happen with time. Or the same thing like if you made like a jam or something, or almost like when berries could kind of turn into like a liquor kind of a thing. Like somehow there has been time spent in this format. I gotta say like the darker sides of this kind of push me more towards like a fall, almost approaching a winter scent somehow. But then the brighter, more purple citrusy side kind of fits for more spring, summer-ish. So it's way more versatile than I originally thought. And I'm liking that.
Is there a little bit of a dirt or a soil note in there?
I don't think so, but it get like if you could turn, like when you look at the gradient of a color, if you could take purple and keep going till it gets almost too dark to become black, it's kind of like that part. It doesn't quite get to black, but it's like the deepest side of the purple that you could get.
Does it kind of get like balsamic a little bit?
No, I'm gonna say more approaching almost a Merlot-ish, but not kind of thing.
It's the season of wine.
But you have to have that darker sides because the spices wouldn't have been able to have a voice. Like somehow it had to be darker than the spices that are coming through on this scent.
Right.
So I'm loving the complexity of this. Like I really am excited to lather this up. Hopefully one day there's a splash because I think this is one of those ones you'd want to marinate and spend a little more time with besides just your shave. You ready to get away?
Right, I am so ready. Purple being my favorite color. It's also some of my favorite scents. All right, taking it in. Here we go. The shake and clam. It's fabulous. And y'all, look at my face. It's not a full Huckleberry scent. It's not a gourmand for me. About half, maybe a little bit more of that actual Huckleberry scent has been taken out of this. It's not the Kool-Aid part of the Huckleberry. It's not the sugary part of the Huckleberry. It's the masculine half. That's wild because I was really expecting it to be a faithful recreation of the berry in my mouth and then go out in some other directions, but it's not. It's a fantasy note of a Huckleberry. Those are even better. Well, because those can be designed to then grab onto other scent notes. If this had some of that Kool-Aid-y part in the middle, it wouldn't be blending with the darker spices in this anywhere near as well. And y'all, just to give you a direction, where the lemon and the huckleberry are coming together is almost a pineapple. For me, that's how many other like beautiful, bright, fruity notes are coming out of the middle of this.
It's like kind of the magic way to go into the whiff. Like that is almost the brightest thing you get, and then it takes you diving down.
Oh, this is wild. Then the whole other half of this, while it's being built with natural woods and spices, gives it a cologne-y face.
Yep.
And you know where I've smelled this exact berry before?
Yeah?
I know this. Now stick with me. Okay. On my grandfather's farm at Easter time, ironically, we would bake pies.
Yes.
And the fruit would overflow the pie crust a little bit. And the parts that would drip onto the cookie sheet would get like super cooked and caramelized, almost to the point of a syrup. And when they remove the pies, and your 8-year-old self grabs a fingerful of that once it's cool, that is the sense this is getting. The berry, but with heat and time applied. And maybe actual THYME time, too. Stand by. Well, that's part of what's doing the aftershave part. There are herbs in this that you do find in some of the most phenomenal aftershaves of the 60s and 70s. Sagey kind of stuff, timey kind of stuff. They mentioned it.
It's there.
Y'all, it's there. But it's not spicing it up to be more of a gourmand. It's turning it more into an aftershave. Y'all, I'd say this was like 50-50. Berry and aftershave.
But I do like that it has a little more of a masculine touch than I was expecting. You read berry or florals and you kind of immediately are like, but it's working here.
And where the berry and lemon are coming together in the middle, it goes high. I mean, it's the spine for sure. The rest of the body is sitting back a ways. And then almost at the very height, if you can climb all the way to the top, does it almost become pine needle-ish? For you, take a whiff. Tell me I'm wrong.
There is something super clean, so I can see why you're saying that. It fits.
That's how she says I'm wrong. And it's not the kind of thing where my nose goes, got it, you've seen some of those episodes. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what this is. I am still getting my nose around the barber pole of scents in this thing. And then when you get to the bottom, it rockets you back up to the top again. Let me look for the darker.
Yeah, see what you can find.
Woody, piney, and if this is weird, stick with me, a little yeasty. A little bit of that doughy quality from Fantasy Donut, from Talent Soap Factory. A little bit of that. Maybe that's why I'm going to pies.
I wonder if it's part of their base. Now that we have a second one from them, we can kind of see if that's actually more of the base note coming through.
Well, this is something you only find in the Barbershop Duet. This is your basic whiff. On 3, let's see if we can find a common base in between these two very different scents. Ready, 1, 2, 3?
I don't know.
You know, there's a little bit of an earthiness to the tallow, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where it stops.
But I have, like, when I smell it, I get the sense of how butter on the counter feels. Like, whatever that consistency is, my brain can smell that in the clean side of the base. So I think that might be part of what you're getting. It's not working. If you want to have a full-on pie, go for it.
I want to have a full-on pie. And if you'd like to have a full-on lather and look at these scent notes, come along with us. All right, y'all, from the Wits and Small Batch Goods page at Etsy.com, we start with
Gentle berry notes and a touch of citrus. I think we were claiming it was lemon. It doesn't actually say, but I feel like that's a good place to put this.
it's lemon. It's not grapefruit, we'll tell you that. I'm not entirely sure what else it could be, except maybe a hint of orange, but I put my flag in lemon. And then gentle berry notes that I don't think stray very far from Huckleberry. Knowing a lullaberry, knowing blackberries from around here, I think this is very specifically Huckleberry. Y'all, for a new artisan, it's almost like you expect to go to a museum and see a painting of a huckleberry by a new artist.
Yeah.
You're not going to have giant expectations because they're new. Y'all, this is the kind of huckleberry I would expect from the players that have been in this game for decades. This is a rich, decadent, artistic version of a huckleberry. And lots of other stuff surrounding it. Now, hold on. We got thyme, which I called because I read it. Sage and moss. But y'all, it's not the oak moss that makes me go. It's kind of that moss from Irish moose
I'm with you.
that I love, like a wet mossy stone in an Irish stream.
It kind of adds just that gentle masculine side. And what you were kind of getting more is like a pine thing. I think it's actually the sage and the thyme together doing that.
It is. And then here's what makes it really pop. The bottom is enriched with a floral burst of lavender and white birch. Here's why this is inspired. The lavender grabs onto the berry because they do flower. At certain times when we're walking through Tilden Park, we can smell the blackberry flowers and they're phenomenal. And then that is arrested. Like I said, this does not go Kool-Aid at all. Arrested by white birch, which if you think about it, is almost more of a sour, tangy wood than it is like a rich redwood kind of a thing. The white birch and the lemon are what connect the bottom and the top and create that movement.
I think if they didn't have the lavender and white birch as the base, somehow it would have gotten too dark.
Right.
Like I put a cap on all the spices and the natural darker sides of the berries because it added in that clean lavender and white birch to loop you back to the top.
And it gave it a gentle sweet that is what makes it reminiscent of a ranch house pie than like some kind of flavored bubble gum.
But I love that you got an actual pie still from it. Like it helped kind of tickle that part of your fancy. And then to me, I was getting the darker, deeper spices that I haven't gotten in a long time.
And it's a farmhouse pie, so it's not loaded with sugar. You want to taste the natural sourness of the berries there in here. Although there was one Easter when my grandmother from the other side of town came to the ranch house to have Easter with the in-laws. I'm not saying there was a bit of a rivalry there, but when my Nana saw those freshly baked pies on the counter, she decided to reach into the salt container and give them a heavy dusting rather than sugar. She claimed that she didn't have her glasses on, but we knew. We knew. All right, y'all, this is my Captain's Choice Copper Lather Bowl. It is in the natural colorway, and this is a super soft soap. You could almost pour that out of the container.
I don't know if I'd want a tub load. It's soft.
Do not leave these on their sides. Softer than McDuff's, if you can believe it.
At least this one, for sure.
And about 10 sprays of country rain here, and I'm going to grab my brand new Coca-Cola brush and show you guys how it works. This is a synthetic knot, and I'm just going to go one way and the other and start drawing the soap up onto the bristles, because right now I don't want to build a lather yet. I just want to move the soap up onto the brush.
I gotta say, huckleberries and Coca-Cola would not be a horrible combo. Just throwing it out there.
It's been done at certain soda fountains. It's been done. Although some places go a little crazy. Peach Coca-Cola, I don't know. Those are the two main gifts that America has given the world, I think. Jazz music and Coca-Cola.
There you go.
You go forwards, you go backwards, and then the Jerry Plessy maneuver. You just kind of go back and forth ham for a second.
It is smelling wonderful from here. Like, it's waking up even more somehow.
And I loved what you said about this being masculine. Like, when I sent my dad a bar of Sterling's cotton candy soap, he was like, man, he doesn't like those kind of gourmands. But I really feel like this would be up his alley.
It does approach the gourmand line, but I don't think it goes over it. So people that don't want the things you could eat to be on your face for some reason, there's a different lane that would want to smell good and approach the sweet line without going too far.
Yeah, does not go as sweet as that. And this is something you only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the I'll Be Your Huckleberry Whiff on 3, 1, 2. That is comforting and beautiful. You know, I could see this as a smell in an old Wild West town.
I'm with you.
Maybe in Tombstone itself.
Like, I've never been to your family's farmhouse, but I kind of picture it would be something kind of like this. Like, the time, T-I-M-E, would have taken all of the scents around it and kind of pulled into it somehow. It's still clean, but there's just, like, stories here. I don't know how that's possible. Look at that lather. Holy moly.
Congratulations. Look at this. It's phenomenal. And y'all, we did catch our Monday morning mailbag this morning with Mark Zarati. And while we don't do shaving like Mark does, we thought you might like to see what this lather looks like.
Oh, that new brush, too.
Y'all, look at this. 3 coats already.
Too bad you shaved already. You have to wait till tomorrow.
I had to shoot the how it shave section. Oh, y'all, you want to try some of this?
I kind of do.
You can tell how protected you are. Feel how thick this is. This isn't foamy at all.
It always kind of blows my mind when it's a lighter soap, but somehow it still has that nice density going on. It's magic.
My razors are trembling in their boots right now, and come along with us. We're going to take this a little deeper.
Okay, after smelling this, do you see why I had a hard time picking out what time of year I'd want to actually use this?
100%. I mean, where would you wear this?
You mentioned Easter, and I was like, yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
But then I'm also thinking, like, kind of fall and the pie season then. Like, there's something about that works with the spices and herbs here, too.
If we did want to go traipsing around some wineries up in wine country.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It really does. That fruity side of the Huckleberry approaches almost a wine action coming through.
Well, we're hitting Stinson Beach tomorrow, and that's right next to a giant hiking trail all the way up Mount Tamalpais. They got blackberries all the way up. Now, y'all, if you live at sea level like we do, you're not going to really know huckleberries because they only start to grow in North America above the 2,000-foot elevation line, which means my mama would have had them in Nevada City, probably. Y'all, this is just an adventure. There are layers to this. It goes berry, then it goes floral, then it goes piney. For me,
Oh, I forgot about the lavender,
very
right?
different faces.
You know, every other whiff, I'm like, this is masculine. And then I'll smell it again, and I'm like, no, I would totally use this. So it just has the spices and things to help it lean a little more masculine here. But there are parts in it that, like with the lavender and the other little doses of citrus and herbs, like, I think I would still use this. If it was a splash and it was a little more masculine, maybe not. But it's just riding that fun line with the deeper, darker spices that's kind of more my jam.
And it's not like a chain sort of a scent where you smell this, it lets you into this, it lets you into this, it lets you into this. The huckleberry is dead center, and everything else is like grabbing onto it in its own way. So those are the little cul-de-sacs you get to explore. It's like the berry into the florals. Okay, now the berries into the pine. Now the berries into the spices. It's that.
I like that this is called Huckleberry because it really helps me know, like, if we ever cross this scent again, I think this will be the perfect gauge for me to get to know actually the Huckleberry on its own, because I think I always thought it was more like a holly or more like a cranberry or something in there.
Right.
But this is really helping me kind of diagnose now where to categorize it in my head. I don't know how Kenneth lines up the labels so good with the edges of these tubs, but even the purple liner, he is a brave man. You can't cheat that.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Wits End, brainstorming their first few scents that they're going to debut to the wet shaving world. Their first one is going to be based on a beloved cologne for those who collect homages. Their second one is going to be an absolutely inspired combination of the natural and the herby. And coming up soon is going to be a straight up root beer float, and we are going to get our own! So head over to witsendsbg.etsy.com to find this and all kinds of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Huckleberry. For a new artisan, the talent level here is insane. This is everything you want a lather to be. Super rich, slick, protective. My razors were trembling indeed. I marched out of that bathroom and made Sarah feel my face. Wits End, we will be back. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our April giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get a $25 gift card to Noble Otter.
Yeah, y'all, and all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send us an email here to WeSentYou at thebarbershopduet.com and mention Noble Otter. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first May episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck.
Now, while the berry is definitively the spine, I'm going to say it's only about 45 or 50% of what's going on in
Yeah.
here. The rest of it is palpable.
Those spices almost turn into a whole different spice. Like, I know we read those 3, but my brain almost gets even more different other herbs mixed in here somehow. Like, there's a magic on how the berries and the herbs are really hanging out in the middle.
And speaking of magic, Craig, thank you so much for this Coca-Cola brush. You have no idea the solace this brings me, sitting beautifully on the top shelf of my shaving cabinet. And Kenneth, thank you so much for believing in our little show and sending out these absolutely beautiful and decadently scented soaps for us to get to know you and share you with the Whiff Pack. We have really enjoyed our last 2 Wits End episodes, and we're excited about the
One
last
more! Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You will smell better just watching this.